heart of the African continent lies a nation that stands as a testament to power, resilience, and unwavering strength. Ethiopia, a land steeped in history and tradition, has emerged as a powerhouse in both regional influence and global significance. From its rich cultural heritage to its strategic geopolitical position, Ethiopia commands attention and respect on the world stage. Join us on a journey to uncover the depths of Ethiopia's power and explore the factors that have shaped this remarkable nation into the force it is today. Ethiopia, landlocked country on the Horn of Africa. The country lies completely within the tropical latitudes and is relatively compact, with similar north-south and east-west dimensions. The capital is Addis Ababa, New Flower, located almost at the center of the country. Ethiopia is the largest and most populated country in the Horn of Africa. With the 1993 secession of Eritrea, its former province along the Red Sea, Ethiopia became landlocked. Ethiopia is one of the world's oldest countries, its territorial extent having varied over the millennia of its existence. In ancient times it remained centered on Aksum, an imperial capital located in the northern part of the modern state, about 100 miles (160 kilometers) from the Red Sea coast. The present territory was consolidated during the 19th and 20th centuries as European powers encroached into Ethiopia's historical domain. Ethiopia became prominent in modern world affairs first in 1896, when it defeated colonial Italy in the Battle of Adwa, and again in 1935–36, when it was invaded and occupied by Fascist Italy. Liberation during World War II by the Allied powers set the stage for Ethiopia to play a more prominent role in world affairs. Ethiopia was among the first independent nations to sign the Charter of the United Nations, and it gave moral and material support to the decolonization of Africa and to the growth of Pan-African cooperation. These efforts culminated in the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, since 2002, the African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, both of which have their headquarters in Addis Ababa. Ethiopia is bounded by Eritrea to the north, Djibouti to the northeast, Somalia to the east, Kenya to the south, and South Sudan and Sudan to the west. Ethiopia's topography, one of the most rugged in Africa, is built on 4 geologic formations. Rocks of Precambrian origin, more than 540 million years in age, form the oldest basal complex of Ethiopia, as they do in most of Africa. The Precambrian layer is buried under more recent geologic formations, except in parts of northern, western, and southern Ethiopia, where there are exposed rock layers of granite and schist. Geologic processes of the Mesozoic era, about 250 to 65 million years ago, contributed to sedimentary layers of limestone and sandstone, most of which have been either eroded or covered by volcanic rocks. Younger sedimentary layers are found in northern Ethiopia and on the floors of the Rift Valley. Lava flows from the Cenozoic era, i.e., the past 65 million years, have formed basaltic layers that now cover 2/3 of Ethiopia's land surface with a thickness ranging from about 1,000 feet, 300 meters, to almost 10,000 feet, 3,000 meters. The Rift Valley forms a spectacular graben, a massive tectonic trough running right down the middle of the country from the northern frontier with Eritrea to the southern border with Kenya. Although Ethiopia's complex relief defies easy classification, 5 topographic features are discernible. These are the Western Highlands, the Western Lowlands, the Eastern Highlands, the Eastern Lowlands, and the Rift Valley. The Western Highlands are the most extensive and rugged topographic component of Ethiopia. The most spectacular portion is the north-central massifs. These form the roof of Ethiopia, with elevations ranging from 14,872 feet, 4,533 meters, from Mount Ras Dijan or Dashan, the highest point in Ethiopia, to the Blue Nile and Tekes River channels 10,000 feet below. Lake Tana, Ethiopia's largest inland lake and the main reservoir for the Blue Nile River, is located in this region, at an elevation of about 6,000 feet, 1,800 meters. The western lowlands stretch north-south along the border with Sudan and South Sudan and include the lower valleys of the Blue Nile, Tekes, and Baro rivers. With elevations of about 3,300 feet, 1,000 meters, these lowlands become too hot to attract dense settlement. The Rift Valley is part of the larger East African Rift System. Hemmed in by the escarpments of the Western and Eastern Highlands, it has 2 distinct sections. The first part is in the northeast, where the valley floor widens into a funnel shape as it approaches the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. This is a relatively flat area interrupted only by occasional volcanic cones, some of which are active. The Danakil Plain, in which a depression known as the Kobar Sink drops as low as 380 feet, 116 meters below sea level, is found here. High temperatures and lack of moisture make the northeastern Rift Valley unattractive for settlement. The southwestern section, on the other hand, is a narrow depression of much higher elevation. It contains Ethiopia's lakes region, an internal drainage basin of many small rivers that drain into lakes Abaya, Abiata, Awasa, Langano, Shala, Chamo, and Zawe. Together these lakes have more than 1,200 square miles, 3,108 square km, of water surface. The Upper Rift Valley is one of the most productive and most settled parts of Ethiopia. The eastern highlands are much smaller in extent than the western highlands, but they offer equally impressive contrast in topography. The highest peaks are Tulu Dimtu at 14,360 feet, 4,377 meters, and Mount Badu at 14,127 feet, 4,305 meters. The eastern lowlands resemble the long train of a bridal gown suddenly dipping from the narrow band of the eastern highlands and gently rolling for hundreds of miles to the Somalian border. Two important regions here are the Ogaden and the Had. The Shebel and Genil rivers cross the lowlands, moderating the desert ecology. Ethiopia has three principal drainage systems. The first and largest is the Western Drainage System, which includes the watersheds of the Blue Nile known as the Abay in Ethiopia, the Tekes, and the Baro rivers. All three rivers flow west to the White Nile in South Sudan and Sudan. The second is the Rift Valley Internal Drainage System, composed of the Awash River, the Lakes region, and the Omo River. The Awash flows northeast to the Danakil Plain before it dissipates into a series of swamps and Lake Abe at the border with Djibouti. The Lakes region is a self-contained drainage basin, and the Omo flows south into Lake Turkana, Rudolph, on the border with Kenya. The third system is that of the Shebel and Genil rivers. Both of these rivers originate in the eastern highlands and flow southeast toward Somalia and the Indian Ocean. Only the Genil, known as the Juba in Somalia, makes it to the sea. The Shebel, in Somali, Shabil, disappears in sand just inside the coastline. Ethiopia, a land of ancient wonders and vibrant cultures, where the past meets the present in a mesmerizing tapestry of history and tradition. From the majestic peaks of the Simien Mountains to the bustling markets of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia captivates all who venture into its embrace. As we conclude our journey through this extraordinary land, let us remember that Ethiopia is not just a place on a map. It is a living testament to resilience, diversity, and the enduring spirit of its people. Join us as we continue to explore the wonders of this remarkable country, where every step reveals a new chapter in the story of Ethiopia. Thank you for tuning in today. Remember, subscribing is the best way to stay connected with us and be part of our history-loving community. Until next time, keep exploring the past and discovering the wonders of history together with us. Subscribe now and embark on an exciting journey through time.